Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. It will contain harsh language and adult themes. So, with me today is Jenny Morgan.
Hi.
I expect everybody on my channel knows you by now.
I'll bet they do.
So,
But you said this is for
is,
children. That there's going to be foul. I better leave then. Never mind. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't want anybody on my channel who isn't already corrupted. So, let's see. In the side chat, I see Faye and Doc Fearson and Amiga Nuts. And Mr. Shadow Kitty was here before. So, among other things, today is National Zipper Day.
Oh, really is?
Yep.
Huh.
And something that I did not know until I ran across this was the zipper was invented by Elias Howe, who is better known for inventing the first practical automatic sewing machine. Although, as with so many other inventions, it's not so much that he really invented it as he was refining somebody else's invention. But that's the way things go with inventions, is that whoever worked on it last gets all the credit, and we forget about all the dozens of people who worked on it before them.
Yeah, ain't that the way it is?
Oh, hi, Nerdy. And as far as the zipper goes, Elias Howe did get a patent for it, but never made any money off of it. He just didn't think that was that important.
That's the other way it goes for inventors. You know, it's like the guy who came up with the concept for Velcro. Never made a dime.
Well, and that was one of the things about Velcro was, you know, they had predicted that Velcro was going to make the zipper obsolete. But Velcro, among other things, has the problem of tending to get clogged up with lint and hair.
Mm-hmm.
And so the U.S. military does not trust it in combat situations.
I think they use it for company and rank insignias and patches and things like that.
Yeah, they'll use it for non-vital things.
Yeah.
But they don't want to trust it to actually hold things together, where it could be a matter of somebody losing equipment.
I remember there was a time in Velcro / automotive history that they were talking about using an industrial form of Velcro, whatever that means, as the method for attaching bumpers on cars. Which I think would work.
Might as well, for what the bumpers on cars are on these days. They're pretty much ornamental.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Now, see, I thought that they should build the car bodies out of Legos. Then if you get in a crash, you can just go out, pick up the pieces, and put it back together. And if you're really quick about it, you can get extra pieces off of the other car before they tow it away.
God, you really are a weird person, aren't you? Oh. No, actually, that would be interesting. I've always wanted to build something real out of Legos. You know, why couldn't you build a real house out of Legos? I mean, you need an awful lot of them.
But yeah, somebody actually has done that, and I actually have seen videos that they've built full-size working cars, you know, with electric motors that were actually big enough to carry 2 people. So there's some awfully impressive stuff out there if you look around the internet. I'm not anywhere near that level of building. I do my own strange things, but I guess I'm just not that detail oriented to really compete with what some of these people build.
Oh.
Doc Pearson says it sounds like I'm in a can.
Yeah, I used to have a little bit of a echoey kind of thing, like you're in a barrel or something.
I'm kind of surprised with it here that it's a large enough room. I wouldn't have thought I would have anything echoing here.
Yeah, it just no, it's not. It's the reverberation you get when you don't have stuff in a room. If tapestry on the walls and curtains and carpets,
Yeah.
all that deadens the sound. Emptiness encourages it.
Yeah, I would have thought that with a big enough room and a small enough microphone that wouldn't really be a problem. But oh well, not too much I can do about it right now. Amelia says Velcro was invented by Vulcans. Do you have a citation for that? Mr. Shadow Kitty says there's worse things that can get caught in a zipper. Yes. Hey, Dave.
Depends on who you are.
Yep. So if anybody else wants to come in here, we've certainly got space.
Is there anybody in the chat that we don't know?
Nope, I'm not seeing anybody. Be mindful.
I got caught in my zipper twice in life. Once was quite shocking. The other one was very minor. I'm so glad I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah,
I feel sorry for you guys.
I have had that happen. Usually it's just, catching a hair or two, which is bad enough, but actually catching skin in there.
Holy cow. There's a guy selling a 7th generation 10-inch iPad with 128 gigs Wi-Fi. It doesn't have the cellular component. He won it in a contest and doesn't need it.
Well,
He's asking 50. That's the current version, and he's asking $50 below the retail. 370. I just have to drive down to Madison and have money.
yeah, I'm not even bothering with home Wi-Fi. Mostly everything I do is on my desktop, so it can have the cable.
Okay, direct plug-in is faster than damn Wi-Fi, anyways.
Yep. Yeah, several people have told me that.
Don't realize that. If you got a desktop, don't use Wi-Fi. Plug it in.
Well, for me, it's more the security issue that if I have the Wi-Fi, somebody else can tap into my network. If everything's got to be on a cable, nobody can really do that.
Oh, and here's somebody with a 7th generation, including a keyboard case, a carrying bag, and an Apple Pen.
Okay,
they want 5.25.
Yeah. How much faster does 7G kill you than 5G?
What? 7G in this case, we're talking about the generation of iPad, what generation it is.
I know. Just everybody's worried about the 5G, so.
Oh, isn't that silly?
Yeah, especially the people who think it gives you a virus. It's like, no, you really can't transmit physical particles over a radio wave. That just doesn't work.
Oh, yes. People
and if the government wants to kill us off, they have much more more efficient ways of doing it, like machine guns.
Geez, this might not be a bad deal. 5.25 for the brand new iPad I know is 4.25. I know an Apple pen pencil, whatever you want to call it, is $99. A carry bag, what do you pay for a briefcase shaped computer bag?
Yeah.
20, 30, 40, 50, somewhere in there.
I don't know. I haven't looked at one in years.
And a keyboard case. Well, geez, you can't touch a keyboard case for less than 50. So that's 50 to 100 there. That's such a bad idea.
That sounds pretty good. You are needing something better.
Yeah. Well, I start looking at these, and anything I want to do, it's all dependent on whether or not that damn government check shows up.
Yeah, I saw that mine just got into my account, just after midnight last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was still surprised to even see it. I wasn't going to believe it was actually happening until I saw the money in my account. See, I think I gotta send a link to B.
Well, maybe I should check my government account, see if I got any money in there.
Yeah, like I said, just in the wee hours of the morning, I was looking at mine, and it wound up finally being there.
Holy shit! It's there.
Okay, well, there you go.
Well, god fucking damn.
And yeah.
Holy cow! I could go get a new iPad here.
Yeah, well, you
Okay,
definitely.
Somebody talked me into doing this.
Well,
Or talked me out of doing
you've
it.
been talking about that for a long time. You definitely need to have some better equipment.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm just afraid that I get it, and then it turns out that's not the problem with StreamYards.
Yeah, well, I know the StreamYard software is still flaky with mobile devices regardless, but it does seem that you run into it a lot more than anyone else does.
Oh, it's guaranteed. I run into it if there's three people. It starts to give a little bit of an indication that there's weirdness, and as soon as there's a fourth or more persons, it goes dead. I just can't use it. It's guaranteed every time.
Yeah, the only thing I've seen with other people is that if somebody else comes in, sometimes they get messed up, but if they step out and come back in, then they're fine. It's just like whoever's on a mobile has to be the last one to enter the room.
Well, that's interesting, but I don't think that affects because I have been in the last person in the room.
Yeah,
like yesterday.
That's why I say you seem to have more problem with it than I've seen anyone else have.
Yeah, yesterday I tried to step into somebody's late night StreamYards, and I got there and entered studio. There was 5 people there, and I just walked out because I knew it was going to be awful. And it was. I heard one sentence and I couldn't make out anything. So, son of a bitch! I got $1,200 for free. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's just fucking amazing.
Oh, we're going to pay for it later. They're already talking about a new tax plan to pay for how badly the government's taking a hit. And it's like, it's not that this should surprise anyone that they'll use it as an excuse to raise taxes.
Oh, my.
Of course, if instead of raising taxes on the middle class, we just raise taxes on everybody making more than $1 million a year by 1%, that would fix the whole thing. Our software is still flaky. Hello. Regardless, but hey, B.
Is that Be Mindful?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hi, honey.
How are you?
Okie dokie.
Doing okay here. Now, when I was coughing, everybody was hearing that. I think my
Oh
mute
yeah.
button wasn't working.
Are you dealing with audio issues there, Purple?
Well, I've got a hard mute button on my microphone, but I was getting the impression it wasn't working because I was still seeing my icon flashing.
Yeah, no. When you coughed, we heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I've had that happen before. I've just got to reboot the computer for it to fix that. I don't quite get how that happens
Oh,
because it's a hardware button on the cord, but apparently not really hardware. Apparently it just sends a signal to the software.
right.
So what's going on with you, B?
Oh God, nothing. I've had yesterday and today off, and I was BSing with some friends last night and playing Quiplash and stuff, and then got on Dave's stream this morning and had a good hoot with that, and got to talk to scientist Mel and Julie in person. In person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was nice. I've never got to talk to either one of them on a stream before, so some great ladies.
Yeah, actually interact with them live.
I'm sorry?
To actually get to interact with them live.
Right. Yeah, it's different than, you're in a chat with somebody, you lose a lot typing stuff versus just having a conversation, so.
Yeah, I never had a direct interaction with Mel until a couple of weeks ago either, but now she's become regular on Black Sofa's isolation chat on Fridays.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I try to catch her stream every Saturday morning if I'm not working. It's random with me. I kind of get like every other Saturday, every third Saturday off. They kind of rotate me through wherever they need me. So it was nice to be able to, chit chat with her and have some good laughs and stuff. She's amazing. So I was on there with Jen's Little Corner and Julie and Manda and Scientist Mel. So I was surrounded by intelligent women with master's degrees, and here I am. Oh. But it was a good time. It was fun.
Yep. I don't get why some men find that so intimidating, but
It doesn't bother me intellectually because despite my knowledge, I can talk to anybody about anything. Just a conversation is easy and asking them questions and stuff. But it was kind of cool because I do hold Scientist Mel in high regard. She's an amazing lady, and every time I watch one of her streams, I always learn something. So yeah, she's a great person too. So very personable, and she's funnier than hell.
yeah.
So it's nice talking with her. Yeah.
I've been trying to promote a campaign for everybody to be writing letters to Netflix to get Mel her own show, so she could be the next Bill Nye.
Yeah, but better and more knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Because she knows way more than he does.
Well, no, and he's upfront about that. He admits it. He says he's a science entertainer.
Yeah, no, that's true, and I appreciate that because when I first heard about him, I didn't know that, and I found out later, and thought, well, what an asshole deceiving people. But no, he was always honest about it.
Yeah. Well,
There you go.
When I had teen and preteen daughters.
I'm sorry, say it again.
I got to know him when I was raising teen and preteen daughters.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah.
back in the
That's a good
90s.
time for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he may not have like, masters and PhD, but he does know good basic stuff for kids to learn off of. I wouldn't say any adult that wants to really dive into it should, you know, follow him.
Yeah.
But for kids and teenagers to get their interest peaked and get them into it, I think he does good with that. So
Well, it's kind of like Wikipedia. You know, he gives a good basic starting point if you want to go do some further research.
right, exactly. Yeah,
So he's good at introducing new concepts in a simple enough way that, you know, people with just a basic public school education can follow it.
right. Yeah, we were discussing that today too. That was one of the questions: is how we felt about if the school systems were teaching kids what they needed to know to thrive in the world, and we were all like, no. So
Yeah, it's one of the things being on the internet has pointed out to me that
well, I think that I don't know if it was Jen or Julie. Somebody said that they need to teach kids how to do things like manage money and do their taxes and stuff like that, because you hit 18 and you have no clue, and you have to find your way through it. And you make mistakes, and yeah, so just simple, basic. I'm an adult in this day and age stuff would be great. Thanks, Amiga. That was awesome of you. I appreciate that. You're such a good little shill.
What's the Meagers doing? I don't have YouTube fired up.
Oh, I just have the live comments over there, but put a link up for Scientist Mel since I was talking about her. So yeah, that was a fun stream on with Critical Cripple with his critical questions. That was a good one.
I wish they'd all move into Zoom so I could be part. Damn it.
Oh, why can't you do it?
StreamYards does not like to work on a mobile platform if there's more than 3 people. The audio falls apart and becomes unusable.
Oh, really? Because Julie had some kind of internet problems with her computer, and she jumped over into her phone, and it was working fine for her.
Well,
I think it may not be that
maybe
it
it's just
doesn't work, but
maybe it's just an iPhone or iPad or iPhone.
Yeah, I think it just kind of becomes unreliable the more people you have in it.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, no, she was on there.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I can't go to Zoom because there's something screwed up in my YouTube account that it will not work with any OSB or any OBS rather. So this is pretty much the only thing I can use at this point.
Oh, okay. I downloaded OBS on my laptop just so I could, play with it and get to know it and everything. So, yeah, kitty litter box, Robert. That's a big, huge combination word. Anyway, so yeah, I downloaded that just to get more familiar with it. My brother kind of went over the basics with me, so I started setting up the different screens and stuff. So, but I don't know much about it yet. I have to learn. I need to learn more and play with it more.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to use it because it certainly, allows you a lot more options.
Yeah, I mean, it cleans it up more, and it just the appearance and what tools you have are so far extended beyond StreamYard. So it's Yeah, it's definitely a good tool, and I'd like to get to the point. Well, I'm going to get to the point that of using OBS. For right now, StreamYard's fine for what I do, which is just BS. I haven't done anything serious yet. I need to set up some interviews and stuff like that to get going on it. Now that I finally got my webcam in a few days ago and got it all hooked up, and my issues with my microphone fixed because it was trying to pick it up from there, and I had to find the settings and blah blah blah. So I think I have all that worked out now. So Purple, how you liking the new place? Are you guys comfy? Got all settled in?
Yeah. Well, I'm unfortunately really bad about getting things organized, so I'm still not finished unpacking, but
Oh, that's okay. Me too.
yeah, I don't think I ever really finished unpacking from my previous 2 moves, so.
When I bought my house, way back when, I reserved one room when I moved in for the room that we'll just put stuff until I decide where it should go. 20 years later, when I moved out, that's all
My
I
mom
need
used to say, yeah, my mom used to say, if it's not like Christmas decorations or something seasonal and you haven't used it for over a year, then you really don't need it.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot,
So,
but it tends to be that whenever I get rid of the stuff, then 2 weeks later I need it.
yeah, but also she was kind of a pack rat because she was like, no, I need that stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, that runs in my family.
Yeah, I'm definitely a pack rat.
But
Yeah, try moving to a tiny home. It will change your mind about being a pack rat because you realize real quick when you have a limited amount of space exactly what you need and what you don't need. I gave away like 3/4 of my stuff when I moved into my tiny home. I just gave it away to like friends and my daughter and stuff because I just had so much. I was like, what am I gonna do with all this crap? It was all useful stuff, but just don't have the room,
Well,
room for
I
it.
had to pare down from a 10-room house to a 2-room, 1-bedroom apartment. So yeah, I did a lot of throwing out and
yeah,
messing
well,
in and stuff.
what I've got is just a 1-bedroom apartment. But, for me, it was always, before when I had a house, it was mostly a lot of materials,
Right.
plus building materials from all sorts of projects, because it's always like I would need a little bit of something here and there, and, didn't
Right.
pay to
And
keep going.
that's why the back. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say that's why the back of my truck still has stuff in it because I just don't have room for all my tools and everything, So I have odds and ends stuff back there.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Yeah, well, for
But I
me,
kind of saw that. I saw that coming, so I bought a tonneau cover for my truck, so nobody knows it's loaded up with shit.
I've only got a little hatchback, so can't really
Oh
keep
yeah.
much in there, and anything I do keep in there is kind of exposed, so I don't want to leave tools in there when it's parked on the street.
Right. Right. You have 500 square feet, Shadow Kitty. That's great. That's way bigger than mine. Hold on, let me do the math. I have 112 square feet.
Yeah, how's that working out for you when you're stuck home all the time now?
Oh, well, I work at a pharmacy, so I go to work all the
Okay.
time. That's why you guys don't see me as much because I work weird hours and they kind of shift me around wherever they need me, so I miss a lot of the streams and stuff. So,
Yeah.
No, I'm doing 40 hours a week, and we just lost an employee because she just has drama and couldn't come into work, so we got rid of her. So now I'm getting some overtime here in the next few weeks till we get somebody else. So, But no, Shadow Kitty, it's great living in such a small space because I can walk, take like 6 or 7 paces and be at my bed, and then 6 or 7 paces, I'm back to my bathroom. 5.5 paces, I'm at my kitchen.
Well, even where I
I can
am,
literally.
that
What's that?
even where I am now with the 1-bedroom apartment, the way I've got it now, I'm using the bedroom as an improvised workshop. So I've still got my bed out in the
Right.
living.
Oh, do you? Hey,
Yeah.
do it however you want. Whatever makes you comfy.
Yeah. Well, otherwise the bedroom's kind of wasted space if you're only in there when you're asleep.
Well, see, that was my thing. Is people are like, "Don't you need more room?" I'm like, well, "How much time do you spend at home?" Well, besides sleeping, I'm only home a few hours a day because I work. Well, right. And I found myself. Well, first, one of the reasons I decided to go tiny was because I found myself wandering around in a big apartment that I didn't need. Like, I don't need a big kitchen. I don't need a big living space, But more than anything, I wanted to be able to move my home. If I decide I don't want to live anywhere, I didn't want to buy a house that's attached to the ground and you have to sell it or get another place to rent or whatever. And I just didn't want to do that. So I got sick of moving from place to place. And so I just decided I'll just make one that I can hook up to my truck and drive away with.
Yeah, I actually had a plan laid out to build what would technically be a tiny home, but a trailer home. The big problem I ran into was just I would still need a lot to put it on. It still would need some place that would have the water and sewer and utility hookups.
Right. Well, what I did was, honestly, I didn't even look before I left. I just left and figured I could rent at a campsite local until I found a place. But luckily, I found a place in like 3 days. And so I just went up by the ski resort here, and it was snowy and it was hard to get up the hill and it was scary as hell because I thought I was going to take me and my tiny home over the side because it was so icy.
Mhm.
But I found a place to rent, and it's only $400 a month for the internet and utilities and everything, and the lot. So it's not bad.
Yeah. Well,
So I pay $400 less a month than I used to for an apartment, and I have my own space and I can do whatever I want with it. So, and that includes the payment on my trailer because I had to get a loan to be able to build all this out because it was so expensive.
What do you do for a
So,
living?
I work at a pharmacy. Well,
okay.
actually, I work in the front store right now, but I just got my training certification so I can go into the pharmacy itself. I used to work at a pharmacy years ago, but that was back when you didn't have to have a pharmacy tech certificate to do it. You could just
Yeah, me
walk in
too.
there and help.
Here
Yeah.
I was at
So
16 years old, counting out Percodons in those days and Quaaludes and shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I used to do the same thing, and now you can't walk past the cash register unless you're certified now. So
yeah, they've got a lot more restrictions on the stuff and a lot more stuff that's considered controlled substances.
right, but the company I work for is paying for all of it, and they train you in the store, like hands-on training. They give you all the materials to study, and they pay for the first test. If you don't pass the first test, you have to pay for the next one. But it's a year. They give you a year to learn everything before you have to take the test. So, I figure I learned how to be a basic EMT in 2.5 months, so I'm sure I can probably do this. Hopefully.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go get paramedic training.
I have wondered about why litter is used that way.
Go get paramedic training. You can do that for a while. Then you can go score a paramedic position in an ER.
You know,
Like, semi-yards,
I
fire
got my
paramedics.
basic. Yeah, I got my basic, and I planned on becoming a paramedic. And the my ex, person I was with at the time, ended up sick, and the whole long story of complications we're not going to talk about. But anyways, she ended up with a trach, and she couldn't work. They put her out of work and put her on disability, and it just wasn't enough. You know, we relied more on her income because she made more money than I did. So I ended up going back over the road and becoming a truck driver, and I couldn't do the continuing ed because you have the continuing education you have to do in person.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't do it. You can't just do it online. You have to show up for classes. So I lost my certification, and I said, okay, well, I guess that, you know, that train has run out of track. I'll try something different. But when I got here, I applied for the TSA, and everything went great. Background check was fine. Everything was great. And then, out of nowhere, they said the hearing in my left ear wasn't good enough, so they wouldn't accept me. So I had taken the job at the pharmacy just to keep myself busy and have a paycheck until I was done with all that. But so now I'm just kind of just gonna ride it out and see where it takes me.
TSA bounced you for having a hearing problem 1 year?
Yep. I didn't think they were that picky about it, but once I got down to 25 decibels,
Yeah,
I
would
missed
think
too
for
many
being
of.
something like an airport screener, it wouldn't really matter.
Well, you know, that's what I thought. I mean, because you spend more time looking with your eyes than you do than you do with your hearing. I'm like, what do you think? They don't make bombs that tick anymore. What do I need my hearing for?
Well,
They don't?
But you know, the
like standing in one place, that if the people you're working with are aware of it, it should be a minimal issue.
Wait a minute, I'm still finding out.
right.
I'm still finding out that I don't have to use ticking clocks anymore. What? No, never mind.
Yeah, no, you don't have to. You can use a cell phone. People use cell phones these days, and you know
Really?
that. Yes.
I had no idea.
So, but you know,
I'm not into
with this
bomb
whole
research, so I don't know these things.
Well, see, the advantage with a cell phone is it doesn't need to be a timer. You can set it off literally from anywhere in the world just by calling the number.
Well, would that be a little dangerous? It's somebody. I mean, look at all the random calls you seem to get from the
Yeah,
crazy people, the crazy telemarketers and shit, con guys.
well,
yeah.
and
it's
I'm
true.
sure there have been incidents of that.
So my friends back in Ohio where I used to live are like, well, you dodged a bullet not working for the TSA with this whole COVID thing. You'd probably be sick already. And that's a viable point.
There is something to that, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Shadow Kitty, that's how I have my bed. My bed is raised up. The top of my bed's a little over chest high on me. And I have clothes and stuff underneath of it. So shelves and all that stuff. So yeah, I made
Your
mine into a
bed is
loft so I
chest
could.
high.
Yeah, I have I built it up high enough where I could use the space underneath of it, because in a tiny home you try to use as much space as you can, of course.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. No, sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, so I just have to do one step up and then put my knee on it. It's not too bad, but I can still sit up in my bed and have probably almost about a foot of room between my head and the ceiling, so I have plenty of room.
Now, what do you do for sewer and water hookup and power?
Well, actually, right now, I'm still finishing doing all of that. I have a composting toilet, so I don't have to deal with that, because there's no way in hell I'm emptying shit out of a tank all the time.
Yeah.
So I did the composting thing, and then I've been bumming showers because my shower's not hooked up yet. But
Yeah, but where is that water going to come from?
yeah, so
eventually.
well, I'm right next to my landlord's house because she loves me so much and knows that I'm quiet and I'm not a pain in the ass, that I moved right next to her, so I could just run a hose from her house over. to fill up my tank. I have a 23-gallon water tank underneath of my kitchen cabinet and underneath my sink.
Yeah.
Oh, so you have
So
electric
just
driven pump pressure then?
right. Yeah, I have a little. I had to get a 12-volt pump because the instant hot water heater I bought can only take. Excuse me. Can only take like 1.6 gallons a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to get. So I have to buy a little converter box to convert it from down to 12 volt, but that's
And so
not a big deal.
you just plug into her home grid and share electric bill then?
Yeah, and well, my electric's part of the rent, so yeah. So I'm directly plugged into her house right now. So
interesting. I played with the idea of building a tiny home for myself, and I just couldn't work out the sewer water power issue, and I lost interest.
Yeah, I was figuring if I did
No,
more.
what state are you in? I heard you mention skiing before.
oh, I'm actually in New Mexico.
Oh, okay. So you have somewhere where you could not freeze to death staying year round. I'm up in Wisconsin.
Well, I mean, yeah, it gets kind of cold here and it snows and stuff, but I think the coldest it got, like 2 days, it got really cold. But besides that, I think the coldest was right around 20-ish degrees.
Yeah, that's
was the average
cold
for the winter, which is that's not bad at all. I was in Ohio with the wind chill, it would get down to negative 24. So
yeah, that's not bad either.
20, 50, yeah, right. 15 to 20 degrees at night is not bad, and then during the day it would be like 30 or 35. So pretty mild winters here. And it's nice here. Like the weather's nice, and there's always like it got hot yesterday, but there was still a good breeze outside. There's always a breeze because we're at like 7,500 feet.
I heard Phoenix is
above sea level.
Has a chance over the next couple of days to break their all-time April high of 106.
Oh, you're in Phoenix?
No, I'm not. The weather guy was.
I'm
in Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm used to the Midwest where anything less than 6 feet of snow is considered a mild winter.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, we got like 8 or 9 inches one night.
Yeah.
That was a lot for here.
I've never lived
but it went up to 1,000 degrees the next day and it was all gone. So that's just like the earth was sweating for a while. Sky smegma.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's not bad here. Everybody's pretty nice, and like it's such a diverse community here. And as long as you're not like a drug addict, thief, asshole, nobody cares. You know, they don't care if you're gay or if you have purple hair or we have a trans gentleman that walks in, and I don't know how far he is, but I've never had a conversation with him about it. But in his transition, but he is with obviously his wife from before he decided to convert, and they still hold hands, and she, you know, they're just so cute because you could like, even though he decided to do this with his life, she loves him so much, and you could tell they've been together for years and years, so it's not a new thing. So but they walk in the store and they're holding hands, and nobody thinks twice about it. It's just, more customers. The other customers don't give them dirty looks. Just people don't care. You can just be whoever you want here. It's great.
That's good.
Yeah.
That was part
I get a lot of
get back to Minnesota because it's much more tolerant than where I was living in Michigan.
Yeah, it's true. My brother used to live in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and he was telling me how large of a gay community. He's a bear, so he was telling me how large the gay community is there and everything. And and how much it had changed. Because what was it, like 15 years ago? I think about 15, 20 years ago, he moved there, and they were still doing gay bashing. And now it's not like that anymore. You know, the skinhead population has moved on, I guess.
Even so, I was living in Minneapolis, St. Paul, you know, from the 80s through the 2000s. And while there were some incidents of it, it wasn't as common there as it was in most other cities.
Right.
You know,
Right.
people are still pretty much, Minnesota pretty much has the attitude that you can do anything you want as long as you keep it on your own property.
Oh yeah, well, that's cool.
You know, just people don't really
I'm
care
in
what
the
they're doing.
southeastern corner of Minnesota. It's rural
Yeah,
here.
but the more rural you get, there's
And
more problems.
I don't. I mean, nobody knows I'm trans. Because I'm very privileged to pass well enough, rather well actually, and it goes okay. I don't have any trouble. I'm not getting any dates, but you know, I'm 65. You know, that's not unusual. So
You're right. Yeah, the older we get, the less, you know. Well, the bottom line is that when you get past a certain age, the people that are single for a reason. So the ones that are like me that aren't crazy, or have like a Samsonite set of luggage to carry around with them, are hard to find. Because then they just give up too, and they think everybody else is crazy, you know. So you don't know who
well,
to.
actually, I had a woman earlier this week try to fix me up with her grandma. You know, it's like, you know,
Oh
hey,
shit!
I don't date people my own age. Have you looked at us? Oh God, it was really comical.
Yeah, I've kind of reached the point of wondering if
It's
I'm
so.
ever going to have a serious relationship again.
Purple. I've come to the point where I've come to terms with the fact that I might just be single the rest of my life because I'm picky and I'm hard-headed and I don't like people touching my shit, and so I don't know. I'll probably end up being single forever, but I'm okay with it.
Well, I've come
Purple,
to
I told you.
terms with it.
Purple, I told you I'd come up there and we'll just fuck like bunnies every few months or so. I'll just come up and we'll get it on and walk away
for
smiling
like
for the
7
weekend.
days, and then see you next time. Hey, there's nothing wrong with a friend with benefits. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, and I realized that for me, it takes a pretty special person to be able to live with me because just to start with, they've got to deal with the autism and the Tourette's.
Right.
You know.
Well, I have PTSD, and that's really been that's really messed up quite a bit of crap in my life with my relationships. So
Was that a military base?
no, very serious high-speed car accident when I was 18.
Oh fuck. Yeah, that can do
And
it.
me and my mother were in the car, and she did not walk away from it. So
I'm sorry.
that's okay. Thank you. So it's been 30 years now, almost 31 years of crap in my head. You know.
Oh, you're an old guy.
Old woman.
Everybody's
lesbian.
Everybody's a guy. I use guys as a generic term. I do not use dudes as a
Okay.
generic term. But
Sorry, I'm
a
just
guy.
so used to people thinking I'm a guy between my voice and how I look with my hair being short and everything that I just automatically correct people. I apologize.
Well, we can fix that voice.
I like my
mine's
voice.
Fixed. Oh well, okay. If you're happy with it, that's just fine.
It's just me. I'm fine with what I am. So
No, the way you put it sounded like you might not be. So that's why I said that.
Oh, no. I'm fine. I mean, there have been points in my life where I thought, should I get a surgery done? Because that would be great to be able to have that.
Oh, you don't
But
need it.
no,
That's the neat thing about it.
yeah, no. Right. Exactly. No, I'm good without it. I don't. It's one less thing to have to deal with every day.
Hmm. Yeah.
What is that, Shadow Kitty?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what the
CPTSD?
difference is between CPTSD and PTSD.
Yeah, I have no idea what the difference is. I mean, I was just diagnosed with PTSD years ago, so I don't really know any of the more modern, they figured shit out terms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been told I probably have some level of it, but mine must be pretty mild compared to what I hear a lot of other people dealing with.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, I did not have a happy childhood, and I don't remember most of it. So that's what
Ha ha ha, Robert.
therapists have wondered about that and wondered about. I've had several of them suggesting they could help me recover memories, and I'm like, if I'm blacking out 10 to 15 years of my life, I probably don't want to find out about it.
Yeah, I hear that.
Right.
A whole lot of
Well,
shit I don't wanna remember.
I finally delved into being medicated. What was it? 2.5 years ago. My ex was just. We were together at the time, and she was just fed up, and she's like, "You need to go see somebody. There's everything else you've done is not working, like therapy and stuff." So,
Okay.
I'm on the lowest dose they give, so I can deal with the rest of it myself. But I just needed that little, just a little, something to help me through it because I had such anger issues, and I was having like horrific flashes in my head of things, and so I had to do something about it.
Yeah,
So I might be sane enough now to date people. I don't know if anybody would want to put up with me.
My biggest problem is just that I never sleep. I can't sleep more than 2 hours without coming fully awake. I don't go through the normal cycles most people do.
Yeah, I'm usually right at 5 hours, and then because I'll be so tired, I'll wear myself out and sleep for like 5 hours, and then my brain kicks in, and it just won't shut up because I'm on top of the PTSD. I'm ADHD, so that's not good.
That's pretty much, I cycle through it at 2 hours, and it's like, because of that, I wind up laying in bed for about 8 or 10 hours to get 4 or 5 hours sleep.
Yeah.
When did you transition? B, when did you transition?
Oh, what came out?
Yeah.
Oh, I came out in 2001.
Okay.
Yeah. I finally just I couldn't do it anymore. I had married my best friend, and we were together 8.5 years, and I absolutely broke his heart because I was just miserable. I was absolutely miserable. I just couldn't act like something I wasn't anymore. So I left him and broke his heart and came out and lost a lot of people I thought were friends and restarted my life. And thankfully, I have an amazing, loving family who just said, "Okay,"
Good for you.
Like my brothers are like, "Cool, I got another brother." Oh, wait a minute, you always were like a brother, So yeah.
Was it something, did you feel like you were acting, or was it something you didn't really discover about yourself until after you were married?
Oh no, I knew. So I have my two sisters are 8 and 9 years older than me, and they would bring home friends, and I would flirt with them when I was little. So, like, I walked up to my mom. My mom told me, my mom told me this story. I walked up to my mom at 5 years old. I came in the house. We were all outside playing. We were all playing in the woods because we lived on a 110-acre farm, and so we were all out playing in the woods. And I always had to come in to pee, and the boys would just pee by the trees, you know. So I came in and I was stomping, and she's like, "What's wrong?" I said, "I'm mad." And she's like, "Why are you mad?" And I said, "I should have a penis." And I walked in the bathroom, and so I've never been girly. She tried buying me dolls. I threw them in the corner, and I'd go play with the GI Joes and the Tonka trucks. So I've just never been that person ever. I wore my brother's hand-me-downs growing up. I never said, "Hey mom, can I go get some girly clothes?" No, it didn't happen like that. I was happy with the hand-me-downs. You know, they were all guy clothes. It was perfect for me. So, you know, every time my mom put a dress on me or a skirt, even when I was little, I would cry, like just throw myself on the ground crying. And if she put a pair of pants on a t-shirt on me, I was good. So
I would have jumped with joy like through the ceiling.
right. See how opposite that is? I wish I could have gave you all my girl clothes.
Oh God.
So
you had
and I
me
said
really,
to my
you had me really confused until this line of discussion just came up. I had assumed, and this is my own bias, and I freely admit that, I had assumed that you were male to female trans who just didn't care about their voice, and there's lots of folks like that, so that's just fine. And that you were involved with a lesbian prior to.
Oh no.
Or I mean, since transition, and I was about to ask you until you cleared it up that wait a minute, you were dating guys, and then you transitioned, and now you want to date women, and
No.
So you had me completely goofed up here. Now I get it.
No. I was born
female to male, right?
So I am no. I am not trans at all. I am.
Okay.
Was born a female. I am still a female, and I'm just gay.
Oh, so. Okay. Wow, there you really had me going. Oh, Jesus.
See, now I talk to people and I think they're gay. You talk to people, you think they're trans. It is bias. It's true. Sure. Why? What, Robert? What do you made a mistake? What? Oh, you made the same mistake. Oh, that's okay, honey. Don't worry about it. You don't know people until you get to know them. So here you go. I'll reveal myself of everything right here, right now.
No. Well, just since we're in confession time, then I'm male to female. I transitioned 40 years ago. Right. I'm only interested in women. Although there's certain men that make me want to try out the equipment.
Never.
And I spent all my years after transition up until recently trying to live this very androgenous existence, and it just wasn't working.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of in a second coming out, a second transition to let myself be the goofy bimbo girly that I am inside.
Yeah. Oh, Robert, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm so complicated, Robert. No, I just when I was a teenager, my voice dropped. And all the other girls went up and mine dropped. I just have long vocal cords. So that's one of the reasons I get guys so much. If I call somebody on the phone, call a business, they call me sir. Like every single damn time. Never fails. So
Robert, yeah, hey?
Can't you just be trans like normal people? He's funny.
and okay, here we've done this a couple times on the air, but we'll do it again just for you. I used to talk a lot different.
You know what's funny is every time I try to like make my voice sound more girly, I always sound like a gay man.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, Jenny.
Like if I try to do like a girly talk, it sounds more like this than.
Hello? Okay.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, Jenny, it freaks me out anytime you or Diana does that.
Mm.
Well,
I have a couple octaves on Diana.
So.
I consider myself very, very fortunate with my voice.
Yeah, and yeah. I do get that on the phone a lot. That, you know, on the phone a lot of people call me ma'am, and I don't really see it. I don't think my voice is at all like that.
You know, honestly, and I thought that you were a female to male the first time I ever heard you on the internet. I honestly, I'm not trying to insult you. I'm just deadly honest. I don't lie to people. So
this is fun.
I don't get insulted by that stuff at all because I am very gender fluid. I was gender fluid and pansexual long before I ever realized they were things.
Right.
It was more like sometime in my late teens realizing that other people weren't that way. You know, and
agreed, Doc. Sorry.
Yeah, I remember back to like being 8 years old about dressing up in my sister's clothes.
Right.
Oh God, I wish I had sisters.
Yeah, I tried to avoid all that crap. My mom kept putting dresses and skirts on me, and I was like, "Oh, these suck." She'd take me to church all dressed up, and I'd get in a fight with one of the boys in church and beat the shit out of them, and come back to her covered in mud.
Yeah,
you know, and
every single time. I don't know why she bothered.
And I know intellectually that you feeling about yourself like you do is the exact same as me feeling about myself as I do. But I still stand back and shake. Why can you not like dresses? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never, and people have said to me, I've had religious people say to me that it's not normal how I live my life. But honestly, you know, I don't go out and protest. I don't go walk in parades because to me it is normal. So I don't see it as being anything I need to go shout about. It's just, it feels right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've never felt comfortable curled up in a bed with a guy. I just never have. And so, you know,
me either.
And I'm a very dominant person, which does not go over well with men anyways. So, you know, they want to do the screwing and I want to be the screwer, not the screwy. So
well,
yeah, if
I fancy myself a bottom. Oh, New Mexico, that's too far away. Tell you what, I'll meet you in Arkansas.
Yeah,
if I'd ever had anybody who was supportive of the idea, I probably would have been living as a woman by now. It just was never an option for me.
It's never too late, Burp.
Well, again, I still don't really feel I've got much of a support network. And, you know, even so, there's a lot of expenses involved in it that I just don't have the money for.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's a fact. That is a fact. You know, I would be okay with just not having either.
Clothes.
And I mean, I would just be okay with not having either genitalia. It doesn't matter to me. I'm very androgynous. I just prefer when someone's not in my bed that they have the meat that clings and not the meat that swings. That's all. So.
All right. it's for me, I could never be monogamous, and part of that is because I really need both.
I
You said
prefer.
you need both?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
I really couldn't settle with just being with a man or just being with a woman. I would still have too much cravings for having both.
Right. I don't know. Just
So I guess I'm just greedy.
like I can look at a guy and go, "Damn, he's sexy. He's hot." But I just don't. Once you get down below the belt, I don't. I'm just not interested. So
Well, again, for me, the gender fluid is a very, I'm losing the word I want, but, it's just, I do shift in and out fairly easily. So I can
right.
very much tend to adapt to whatever partner I happen to be with. Which
I
my
I
fiance
just need.
was actually a lesbian, and she said she could have never imagined living with someone who had a penis, but I just didn't display any of the traits that she normally associated with men.
Right. Yeah.
I just need to have an innie,
And
not an outie.
I think that these days, because people are allowed to be more of who they really feel like they are, that the male dominant, I'm going to be a big, tough guy crap is slowly fading away, which is wonderful because it's stupid and men should be allowed to cry if they want to. So, yeah, so I think we're slowly we're getting to the point where it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. I had for instance, I had a couple come into work and I looked at the woman and the first thing I thought was lesbian, like gaydar pingin. But she was with this younger guy who was dressed more effeminate and they were obviously together. And I was like, "Oh, see, cool, there you go," So and if I were to ever date a guy, it would have to be something like that because I'm totally the guy in the relationship.
So B, you're like 50.
Yeah, I'll be 49 in a couple months. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've tended to take
Um.
what's usually considered the more feminine role in almost all of my relationships. It's even when I was raising somebody else's kid, I wound up being the stay-at-home parent for 12 years.
Right. Right.
My feeling is, in terms of the physicality, it just is. You when you're done with me, you'll know why yoga invented downward dog. That's all I can say.
I thought that was to stretch the hips. Huh. Go
Okay,
figure.
fine. Whatever you say.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry, I was catching up with the chat there. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's good that people are more allowed to be, whatever they're comfortable being.
Yeah, well, I think it's better that
And
we're,
of course, you two have seen everything change in this crazy world. Everything
yeah,
it's changed so much. I remember in 2002, 2003, 2002, I was with my first like full-time girlfriend and we were standing at it. We pulled up to a gas pump and she was going to go inside and get some drinks and I was going to pump gas and she walked by me and gave me a kiss and this guy in his big jacked up truck with a rebel flag on it started driving circles around the gas pump yelling fucking dykes. So in the last 18 years I've watched that transform into well, it's just a couple of women together. Like people just don't care
yeah,
as much, thank God.
Well,
So
the 15-year difference in our age when I came out in the 70s, You know, everybody thinks that, oh, that was the hippie age and all this kind of stuff. It was absolutely rife with all the bigotry and hatred that we associate with people who don't like those of us with alternative lifestyles. And it's amazing. It's just flat out amazing to me how much better it is now for us than it was then. Um, I mean,
Oh yeah,
that was still the time where the police would beat you to a pulp for being gay
right,
or trans.
Well, and unfortunately, in some
right.
parts of the country, it still is that way.
Well, no,
Yeah,
no, nothing like it was.
Bible
No,
Belt.
nothing like it was.
Yeah,
No.
No, it's true because now there are good police officers and there are good captains in every district that do not approve of that. So the ones that try to do that or would like to cannot. So
Yeah,
thank God for that.
yeah. There may still be the feeling, but
Well,
it doesn't. I mean, this used to be where you get 20, 30 cops who would come in and raid a gay bar, beat the fuck out of everyone, arrest anybody who gives lip,
yeah.
and close it down, only to let it open another week later so they can do it again. You know, so it was different.
right.
Now,
Oh yeah.
uh,
Oh yeah.
and
I
it's
grew
just
up in a
amazing to
very
me to see that happen in my lifetime. I never thought it would.
yeah, and that's right, and that's exactly where I was going with it. I grew up in a we grew up in a very rural, boy, it's hard to say sometimes, area. A bunch of like country folks, country bumpkins, borderline redneck people.
Yep.
And so people always say to me, "Why didn't you come out earlier?" I'm like, "Because I didn't want to get hung from a tree." You don't like they don't.
Yeah.
The younger people don't understand what it was like. We
Yeah.
literally had a black guy that lived down the road from us. He was the only black guy that we know of in the entire county, and probably including the counties around it. And he was married to this white lady who had a son from a previous marriage, and then they had a daughter together. And he used to beat her. And as soon as the son moved out, the white son moved out, and she didn't go with, they put a cross in the front yard and burned his house down. And I would have been dead. Like anybody that wasn't in their line of thinking of being right was wrong. So I wasn't about to come out back then. And then, after my mom passed away when I was 18, I didn't want anybody in the family to not like me or, boot me. So I held it in until I was 30, and then I couldn't do it anymore.
It's really interesting. It's one of those things that I pay attention to, people's coming out age. It seems like the age of 27 is so popular of an age for people to come out trans.
Well, that's because that's when you finally realize who the hell you are.
Well, yeah, I understand it, but it's just interesting that it settles at that age point. You know, that so many people I talk to, and I'm not asking gay people because I'm just not talking to gay people all the time, but trans people that, sure enough, 27 is.
Yeah, well, I think just for a lot of people, it's not until you're at least 25 that you've passed just all the mundane milestones in life to get to be an adult.
Right.
So yeah, I think until they're 25, a lot of people really don't even start to question who they are. They're pretty much stuck with what they were brought up as.
Right. And that's the thing is we all are trained by our parents, and we all you either follow what they have taught you or you find your own way. And a lot of people follow for too long whatever the bad crap, and it seems like the bad crap that seems to linger longer. But trying to figure out who you are and everything, and I went through that whole thing. And when I was 28, almost 29, I had a pretty good reality check with myself, and realized one of the reasons I was walking around angry all the time, not just because of my mother's death, was because I was living a lie, and I'm not one to lie. So it was destroying me on the inside. So I finally I had left my husband, and he kept begging me to come back. And a month after I left him, I walked up to the door. I said, well, we need to talk. So I walked up to the door with my hair cut off, which I had hair down to my butt most of my life. And he just opened the door with these big, huge eyes, like, what the hell? And I just went in there and told him, I said, look, it's not you. You're a wonderful person. I love you with all my heart, but I'm gay. I can't do this. I don't mean to hurt you, but I can't do this. And I said, you didn't know? Because everybody else is like, oh, well, we were waiting for you to figure it out. And he said, no, I just thought you were the coolest wife in the world, because I would hang out with all his guy friends and we'd drink together and we'd go shoot pool together. And, I was the only female in the group. And he just thought he had the coolest wife in the world. I wasn't like the other wives that would just hide in the kitchen. I'd hang out with the guys and party with them and, go night fishing with them.
He just didn't want to get rid of his penis,
He was an amazing guy. He really was. He died a few years back from cancer, but yeah, I still hold him dear in my heart. He was an amazing person, and he was my best friend, and that's why I married him to begin with, because I figured, well, if I have to live a lie and I have to act like everybody wants me to act, then I'm gonna marry my best friend. So yeah, he was a good man. Yeah.
Well, at least you found somebody you're able to live with. That in itself.
Yeah. And I tell people the messed up part about it is the longest, best relationship I had was with a guy. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, I had a similar kind of thing that pretty much, if I wasn't one who was taking care of everybody's kids, that I was just considered to be one of the girls. I never fit into the stuff the guys wanted to do, and I was never much interested in, drinking beer or watching football or the typical guy stuff.
See, you and I would have been great switching places, because when I was with him, there was 3 other couples that we were friends with. And every time it was a football game, we'd all get together because every single one of us rooted for a different team. And all the women would hang out around the kitchen and watch, and all the guys would hang out in the living room, and I'd be in the living room with the guys. You could have hung out in the kitchen with the girls for me.
Yep. Yeah.
So, and I would kept walking.
I did that, just the stuff the guys were doing usually didn't interest me, and I generally didn't like the way other guys behaved. They generally made me uncomfortable, and it's like, even if they were, well, actually, when they tried to include me in things, it made me even more uncomfortable.
Right.
And I was from Wisconsin, and when you're a Packer fan, gender is like way down the ladder of importance. You're a Packer fan.
Yeah.
Do you like the Packers? No, get out of here. Leave the state. Exactly. You're banned.
Well, I'm a shareholder.
Yeah, Slav girl grew up in southern Wisconsin. So
yeah, she's indoctrinated then.
Yeah. And while I think very little of most professional sports, the Packer fans and Cubs fans are about the only 2 I can really respect. Because at least the Packers, the team is actually, owned publicly. It's not a corporation.
Well, it is a corporation. Right. It's not a for-profit corporation. It's a non-profit.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
And it is owned by the people of Wisconsin.
Not privately owned.
I really do have a share of the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah. So as opposed to being a corporation, the Packers are more like a public utility.
Huh. Interesting. That's interesting. And Doc Fearsome, I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
People should just be allowed to be themselves.
Yeah, in retrospect, I felt that probably being autistic saved me from a lot of the indoctrination, just because I didn't process things the way people were expecting me to, so the indoctrination techniques didn't work.
That's what very well said, Doc. I really like that. Very well. Very good, Doc.
Doc's very cool. We got to get together with
one of the things. One of one of the big things, one of the really big things that we're starting to uncover in my life that I can't believe we didn't nail 40 some years ago when I first went through therapy the first time in transition. Is it's beginning to look, the more crap that comes out that I unearth and remember, that my mom knew about me, or at least suspected something was different about me. Um, and tried in her own covert way of helping me out. Um, my mom taught me how to sew. She taught me how to iron, do laundry, cook, how to be submissive, how to know my place. And I remember those words exactly. And I can remember asking her sometimes, why do I have to learn this when my brothers aren't? And her answer was always, you're just going to have to know these things. Whatever the
So
fuck
she
that
knew.
meant.
Yeah.
Well, it seems
She
so.
knew.
But, we're talking the 50s and 60s when there wasn't even the word for what I was. Now, she was a professional emergency room head nurse. She was very educated and certainly current in her medical knowledge. So she may have been exposed or had an understanding that other people didn't because of that. Although she was always there with my dad, punishing me and being negative about me anytime I was like caught wearing a dress or was acting sissy-like and stuff.
Well, yeah, but it
Although,
was also so different back then because when a man went to discipline his children, the woman had to comply. So it's not like she had a choice and could have stood up for you, really. If you think about it,
and that may well be too. Sure.
Yeah.
Although my parents
they're not allowed to.
had an amazingly egalitarian relationship for the time period they existed. Mom earned more than
Oh, that's
dad,
cool.
and
Oh,
and
wow.
dad certainly knew it, and she handled all the books for the house, and she ran the household.
Right.
Although she seemed to, now that I look back, let my dad make the decisions.
Yeah, and all that stuff that you're saying that, your mom was pushing you to learn is stuff that I just gravitated towards, and it's like, if I couldn't get somebody to teach me it, I was figuring it out on my own.
Well, I also was gravitating to, I love to watch her sew.
Yeah.
Some of my fondest memories are watching her go at it with a sewing machine.
Yeah, so when I was in
fun.
junior high, this would have been like maybe 1978 or so. Our school was doing what they considered a social experiment in having all the girls take shop and having all the guys take home ec for one semester. And it's like the projects they had lined up for the guys to take home ec were just things that were so basic to me, I couldn't deal with it. And it's like, so I went in there, for the sewing part of it, I went in there with patterns I had created myself to show the teacher that this is what I was going to do, because the projects that were laid out were just, boring beyond shit to me.
Right.
And besides, my homemade patterns fit my bust better.
Yeah. And the teacher was like, oh no, that's way too advanced, you can't handle that. And it's like, no, I've done this before.
Right. Well, that's the other, speaking of busts, Jenny, that's the other problem I have, is because I'm so small chested. If people don't look directly at my chest and investigate, they just think I'm a guy.
Okay.
But when I was a teenager, I said to my mother, because my mother was like a double D or something like that, she was quite large, and I said to her that she did not distribute properly, because I had a sister that was a C cup and a sister that was a B, and then I was basically like an A/B, so I got the least. And then I got older and I thought, Oh, thank goodness I didn't end up with those. I don't even like the small ones I have. I would be okay with not having them. It's just something I have to wear every day so I don't have nipples showing, so.
Um, I mentioned that my last 40 years were really fucked up transition wise. Um,
Yeah.
I don't want to get into the details just because of time factors right now, but it almost killed me. I fucked myself up so bad, and had a couple of medical people who contributed their incompetency to it. Um, like I was off of hormones for over 25 years, and that means
Yeah.
nothing flowing in your body. Because the surgeon said, "Well, you don't need those anymore. You don't have any balls." And yeah, he actually said balls, um, which should have been a hint. um,
Right.
and all I ended up with was a dangerous case of osteoporosis, which we're now trying to
Really?
correct. Hmm. Yeah, and the doctor I
Huh.
have now, who has spent a good part of her career taking care of transgender people, she's not in a formal clinic setting for it, just her internal medicine practice. Uh,
Oh, okay.
got me back on hormones about 2 years ago now, and it's like starting all over again. Um, the whole transition thing, it's so much like the first time I did it.
Yeah, that
It's
must be
really
pretty rough.
it's kind of comical, and I'm trying to write it up in a comical sense. I think it would be a great comedy movie actually. Um,
Right.
so all that is redeveloping, shall we say? And I've recently just gotten to the point where men are starting to look at my chest, and it's
Oh, okay.
it's, it's so ridiculous. Come on, boys. They're they're just
Well,
these big, baggy, fleshy things. Cut it out.
Oh no, I like baggy, fleshy things.
Well, I understand that too, and but you don't have to stand there and stare at it. Come on, guys. You don't even know me. A lover, something like that. That's fine, but a total
Well,
stranger.
you got to remember. You got to remember, 65 to 75% of men, well, they have penises, so they're gonna look. Of course, I don't, and I look, so whichever.
See, when I had those hormones in me, and that equipment, I was more interested in what the tummy and crotch and things like that were doing. I really wasn't that taken by women's chests at all. It didn't really matter to me what size it was. I guess it still really doesn't. But I like those camel toes in that gap, and a nice butt. um, and I still do. So
Okay, nerdy, I'm not sure what you mean by 75% there, but
Are you saying it's only 4 inches long? Don't
what do
feel
you mean?
bad,
Did you
nerdy.
have
I
an
had a guy
accident?
whip out his penis at me. I had a guy whip out his penis at me when I was in the army, and it was hard, and it was like the size of my thumb. And I busted up laughing, and for some reason, he never spoke to me again.
Surprise! No, I
yeah.
had an extraordinarily small one myself. I understand. It wouldn't be classed as a micro penis. I do refer to it that way sometimes, but it got me beat up a few times in high school and things like that.
Well, I'm sure that was not productive for trying to keep you as a guy, then, was it?
No, no, not at all. Um, I never even began puberty until I was like 17, before I got a single body hair. which also contributed to beatings in the locker room. Because if you don't have enough body hair, you must be a faggot.
Yeah. Well, that's what I went through in school too. I hated gym class. And I seemed to get kind of stuck. Like, from the time I was a teenager, I really didn't finish puberty until I was in my mid-30s. So it's like I really had virtually no body hair, and I couldn't grow a beard until I was like 36. Now
I
I can't
actually
get,
love gym. Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, now I can't get rid of the beard no matter what I do. I shave it off, and it's just a matter of days before it's full again.
Well, that's what they do.
Well, unlike you two, I love gym class because I had a bunch of women changing clothes around me. It was great.
Yeah, see, I would have enjoyed that too, but I also think part of my being bullied so much was probably that they realized I was kind of interested in other guys. Because, that's nobody talked to me about sex, so it's like by the time anybody bothered to have a sex talk with me, I was like, oh, you mean I was supposed to choose one or the other? By that time, it was already
Aha.
too late, and I'd already been having sex with boys and girls by that time.
Right. Touche, Purple. Touche. Hell, I found out what a lesbian was in the bathroom at school. I didn't even know what I was classified as. I didn't understand that. There was like a classification for it. And I heard two girls in the bathroom. I was in there taking a poop in between classes. And I heard them in there talking. And one said, "That chick is such a lesbo." And the other one said, "Lesbo?" And she said, "Yeah, lesbian." She said, "What's that?" She said, "Girls who like girls." And I was like, "Oh, I'm a lesbian. Thank you." So I learned about myself while taking a poop. True story.
Yeah, and in my adolescence, the only word that existed for anybody who was like me was faggot or pedophile, um, and that was pretty much it in the street vernacular. Medically, there were other terms, but as far as human beings on the street were concerned, that was either a faggot or a pedophile. Well, a child rapist. They didn't use pedophile; it wasn't that sophisticated. Um,
Isn't it funny that if you're gay or trans or anything, they automatically classify you as a pedophile? But 98.5% of pedophiles are men that uh, identify as being straight.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they
Yep.
always want to blame the gay people and the trans people, which is it's actually highly uncommon. And the reason is because they just go do whatever they want to do, and they're with who they want to be with. They don't have to be some sick fucker. But these straight guys, they want to, they want to go play with little kids because they can't get what they want or whatever
Well,
it is. I guess that's what it is. I don't know.
Taylor Swift song. Um, what's it? It just recently came out. The pro gay song. Um, I'm blanking the title, and I've heard it 1,000 times. Oh well, and there's a group of lyrics in there that are addressing uh, trans people and drag queen issues, and the line is something like, "Hey, all you guys looking at all the girls on the internet who are killing it. Um, we it basically says we know your secret, okay? We know that you're lusting for these babes at the same time you're out here screaming for their death, okay? So don't give us no bullshit because we know what you're really into." Um, and that I think it's the same. I think it's the same thing. I think there's a lot of men who resort to that kind of name calling and stuff, who have their own personal issues that they just can't wrestle with, so they project out
Oh yeah,
and attack us.
Well, I think that is a lot of that because, the way society pushes the whole masculinity thing, that if they're even questioning it, they don't really feel there's any way they can talk about it with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, generally the more repressed people get sexually, the weirder the ways it comes out are. Although for the pedophilia, I think that most of that's more about control issues. I think that it's, they want to be with someone they can totally control.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
not
think
sure
so.
why that's a thing. I've always tried to. I've always been the kind of person that if I don't understand someone or why they do what they do, I try to put myself in their shoes and say, why, if I was them, why would I do this? I just can't get it with pedophilia. I just I don't understand rapists. I don't understand pedophiles. I just don't get it. Everybody else I can understand. Anybody else I can understand why someone would go and murder somebody. It's an act of passion, or they have mental illness and they're angry, or they have PTSD and they lose their mind. Whatever. I can understand all that, but I can't understand rapists and pedophiles. I just can't, as much as I try.
From the interviews and discussions I've read about pedophiles, it seems to be a purely um, sexual excitation fetish issue, that they see a young body and it physically turns them on. Um, Whereas rape is indeed a control issue and a power issue and that sort of thing, and has very little to do with sexuality. Um,
Right.
you know, I mean, they're both really fucking scary people, but pedophiles will never change. A rapist mostly never ever changes, but it's certainly heard of situations where they realize that their sickness had to do with anger and power issues, and were able to reform, and they still deserve a
Right.
lifetime in prison. But there seems to be a small element of hope for them if you catch them early than a pedophile. Pedophiles are just
Right.
sick perverts.
My brother actually was reading studies done on pedophiles, and they would ask the pedophiles to draw an adult, and like 99 point whatever percent of the time, their adult that they drew would look like a child. It's
Hmm.
almost like they can't distinguish the difference in their head.
Interesting.
Like, that's truly what the study came up to be, was that they look at, if they say, hey, draw me a sexy woman, they'll draw a little girl. Draw me a sexy man, they'll draw a little boy. They just, their brains can't even go there.
Hmm.
Even asked to draw a picture, they still draw it as a looking like a child.
That is an interesting
So
aspect of.
yeah, that's what I
I
said.
spent a long
Kind
time
of
in therapy trying to understand why I exist. What is it about me as a trans person? Why am I a trans person? What happened to make me into this? Um, I'm one of
right.
those trans people that can trace back to my earliest recollections of not perceiving gender the way anybody else did, and
Right.
it was a cross between wanting to be a girl and thinking I was a girl and thinking why is there a difference, and that kind of stuff. So it's really only been within the last like 10 years that I've come to understand what I think is the etiology, although there's still a lot of scientific research that needs to be done to really nail it down. But it does seem to be largely, I'll use the term birth defect, because we know what I mean when I say defect, and as
Yeah.
opposed to you
Hmm.
know normal, and I'll use that term too. Um,
Don't use it
Yeah.
around me.
Quote unquote normal.
Yeah, but right now there's a lot of discussion about, like the TERFs are out there screaming, "Oh, there's only two sexes, male and female. You're either biological male or biological female," and they're distorting the language and playing word games, which is the
Yeah.
specialization of the Republican Party. Um,
I know for me, even as a teenager, it wasn't, I never really questioned who I was. I just questioned why other people couldn't accept that. I just couldn't get my head around why other people had trouble
mm.
accepting me.
See, I was really busy trying to defend myself against being considered a bad person for how I felt and what I wanted in life. And so I was looking for a reason to say, hey, look, I'm not trying to be a sick person that everybody seems to think I am.
Hmm.
It's something inside. It was always this way, and you know, I didn't know I was defending myself as a child, but I know now, as an adult, I certainly was.
Right.
And right up until recently, when I thought I learned what's the likely truth. Um, and that in itself sucks that we would have a society that is so hung up, that the only way you can be allowed to exist is that it's a defect, so to speak. That it's not in your control. That if somebody were to choose, and I don't think they do choose to be gay, um, that the only way it can be okay is if it's something you were born with. It's like that someone can't choose to be gay. It's wrong. It's immoral. Take that fucking religion and shove it up your butt. Which is a whole other dimension. I can't understand how people who are gay or trans, um, or NB or any of our spectrum can be religious at all. It's like, how can you believe in all that stuff that wants to kill you?
Yeah. Yeah, I could never get that either, how pretty much anyone of any minority could continue to be Christian because it's always been used, to vilify all the other groups and to just ostracize anyone that didn't fit into, their perception of how everyone should be.
Hmm.
If you didn't know your place in society,
Yeah.
Well, all I
Oh.
know is that I really, 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 really like being a girl. And you're never going to get me to change my mind.
really like what? I missed.
What?
I really,
Huh?
really, all a million times being a girl.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. I mean, everybody. You feel how you feel. You feel about your body as you feel. That's like when I lived in Ohio, I worked around these guys, and they were when the whole trans bathroom thing came up
Oh God.
originally. They were all like, well, these guys are cross-dressing so they can go in the women's room and look at women and mess with girls. And I was like, why do you care if they dress differently? Well, it's fucked up. And I'm like, do you care that I dress differently? And they're like, what do you mean? Like, well, I'm a woman and I wear guys' clothes. It's the same thing. And they all just looked at me like, oh, we hadn't thought of that. But it is the same thing. A guy wanting to wear a dress and a woman wanting to wear, you know, like I wear guys' clothes, like I wear jeans and work boots, and I don't have anything pink or purple or anything like that in my wardrobe. I have all guys' clothes from the guys section. So what is the difference? And they just stared at me and they had no answer. And I said, right. And I walked away.
Yeah.
Well, I want to be your girlfriend.
Oh my goodness. Nope. Tried that long distance thing, didn't work.
Okay.
No.
I was just
I got
an
bored
idea.
with it. I'm ADHD. I got to have something up in my face all the time. No. Let me change that. Hold on. I didn't say that correctly.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you did.
I have to have someone in front of me more often, or I lose interest.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I dug the hole with that one.
If it's greater than tongue length away, it's not good enough.
Yeah, that's not too far off.
You're gonna get a tattoo that says "Born to Lick."
Oh, honey, I don't have to have a tattoo. I just need a couple minutes and some privacy with somebody. Anyways.
The best sex I've ever had, I didn't take my pants off.
Oh, Doc, good idea.
I'm gonna
condition instead of defect. Yeah, that's better.
I agree. Better. I don't like defect. I don't like that. That sounds like you had some issues coming from the manufacturer. That's not.
Well, but I do.
Yeah, it's definitely a condition.
And they had never recall, and I got fixed.
And that pretty much.
But it also sounds like something.
Later argument.
Yeah, but then it is you have an issue. You have something wrong with you, instead of you not being comfortable in your own skin. That's two different things. So I don't like defect. I like condition better. Thank you, Doc.
Yeah, I agree. It's a better way to phrase it. Excuse me.
Robert, I don't know why I'm on purple stream and I have no purple. I like the color blue, black, and gray. That's pretty much it for me.
And I like pink.
I hate pink.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate pink, and I hate purples, and I hate red, orange. Red's okay. I can wear red, but orange really. Ugh.
I've recently been told by people that red should be my color, and so I've kind of adopted it, and it seems to be true. I actually get response from people if I wear red.
My fiance,
okay.
She didn't like pink, but it looked good on me.
I had a pink shirt in high school that got me in lots of trouble. Yeah, I learned my lesson. And the lesson was, they don't like what I like. What's the problem here?
Right. Right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, actually, purple was my favorite color, and orange was my favorite color. So that's the other half of where my handle came from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't pay attention.
I think purple rhymes with orange is one of the best names on the internet. Right? It's
well,
right up there with
Sloth
my favorites.
For that, because it's something she used to say when we were gaming. That because nothing rhymes with purple and nothing rhymes with orange, by default they rhyme with each other. So I actually took that from her, because when I was trying to come up with a name for my channel, it's like I kept doing, searches on YouTube for everything I came up with, and it's like everything was either taken or it was something that no one would remember or no one would know how to spell. So this was the only thing I could come up with that I figured people would actually be able to type out to search for me that wasn't already taken.
Right. Yeah, speaking of clothes, I always feel very awkward when I have to walk into the women's section to buy bras, because that's the only time I walk into the women's section in any given store. I feel like I'm being like a pervert and walking in there like, oh, I'm going to look at women's bras or something.
Well,
and then half the women think when I walk in there, half the women think I am some kind of a perv because they think I'm a guy. So
Well, if you're buying brand name, why don't you just find an online source?
oh, I just never thought of that. Honestly, I've never bought clothes online.
Once you find
besides like the
one
random.
vendor, that a vendor will tend to be very consistent in their if they're serious about their mail order business, they'll be very consistent in their sizing.
Oh, okay.
That if it's an X, it's an X for every piece of clothing they make, or if it's a double X, and then it's a double X for every piece of clothing.
Yeah, it's a bit of trial and error to find what manufacturer.
Yeah, and once you nail somebody who you know the size at their place,
yeah,
it's real dependable.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I could just,
women's clothes.
I could just order my.
Yeah, women's
I'm sorry,
clothes,
go ahead.
So much to deal with the sizing. With men's clothes, it's pretty much small, medium, or large, and you're set.
Yeah, I mean, I only walk in the women's section to buy like plain black, gray, or white sports bras. That's it. That's the only reason. It's the only reason I walk in there.
I love clothes shopping.
I hate it. I hate shopping. I go in, I get what the hell I want, I get the hell out. Unless I end up like where there's brand names like Makita or Craftsman, then I'll linger and wander around and look for hours.
I like hardware stores too.
Well, yeah, that is the one part that
Oh.
the one guy thing I can do is just looking at tools. I never really, cared much about clothes.
Yeah, I've never enjoyed. Like, I will go to the store, buy a bunch of clothes, take them home, try them on, and return them if they don't fit. I don't even want to try on clothes in the store. I just want to buy them and get the hell out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, tools, Shadow
I bet
Kitty,
that
tools.
if you and I sat down and made a list of everything we could think of that would be classically gender, we would be 180 degrees on everything.
Oh, I think so. I absolutely agree with that.
Except for tools. I like tools very much.
Yeah, Robert, as long as you keep me out of the tool section, or possibly the... Never mind, I'm not going to talk about those tools right now. Yeah, if you keep me out of the tool section, I can shop and do 2 hours worth of shopping in like 15-20 minutes. What most people would take 2 hours to do. I hate shopping.
I spent my adult life working in a garage, so I have one of those aircraft carrier size toolboxes filled. I have a few.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I can fix anything.
I'm just going to say you've got to be careful to dial the speed way down when you put a dildo on a reciprocal saw.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
I suppose you have to pin it onto the blade, too, somehow.
Oh, you haven't seen that video on YouTube? Look it up. I think it's YouTube or something. There's a video out there of.
Oh no! Now I know I don't want to see it if it's really out there.
My ex and I belong to a swingers group, and just because I do the home repairs and everybody knew I was handy with the tools, I got commissioned to build all sorts of interesting things.
Ooh.
Yeah, I actually helped a gay couple in Minneapolis to design and build a fully equipped dungeon.
A what?
A fully equipped dungeon for BDSM play.
Oh, yeah, my brother used to have one of those. I
don't
know if he still has it.
A rack and a St. Andrew's cross.
And just to clarify, not the brother that the people that know my brother on here. Not that brother, the gay brother. Yeah. My brother on YouTube does not have a dungeon. Trust me. I didn't
That
want
was
any misunderstandings there. I have 4 brothers, so
that's been a good part of my business over the last couple of decades. Was just that the word got out that I could do all the home repairs and I didn't judge anybody's lifestyle. So people didn't have to worry about hiding their stuff when I was going to come in to fix their sink.
wow. I should market that here. I could probably have a shit ton of business.
I actually started
It's so
putting that on
diverse
my,
here.
I actually started putting that on my business cards that I just put a fine print line that said friendly to alternative lifestyles.
Oh, cool.
That would be something. If I saw on a business card, it would make me want to go to that person and no one else.
It kept me working steady for 10 years living in New York.
Wow, that's great.
It just happened purely by accident there that the first job I got was for a lesbian couple in the artsy neighborhood, and just pretty much took off from there.
Right.
Because I never really advertised, it was all just word of mouth, but, like I said, when you've got a stranger coming into your house, I can understand it, that people are going to be a little nervous if somebody's going to be judgy or what kind of stuff they have to hide. But between the queer people and the BDSM people and the pagans, it's like nobody wanted to have to put their stuff away just because they needed something fixed.
Right. Absolutely. The worst I'd have to do in my place is vacuum my throw rugs because I'm horrible about it.
Perp, why don't you start a dungeon construction company?
If I had a place for a workshop, I would do that. I'd get back into building, that type of fixtures and furniture. But right now,
well, for right now.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty limited because I don't have the space to set up. I had to sell off all my stationary power tools and that.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, you can buy a pretty good sized cargo trailer for about $5,000, and you could just have a mobile workshop.
Yeah, I'd still be stuck with needing a place to park the trailer. In the winter, that can be a serious problem.
Yeah. Yeah, because then you have to find like the storage unit to park it in where it's safe, and you got to spend the money on that every month. Yeah, it's true.
And I have to have a big enough vehicle to haul it around.
Right, yeah, a little hatchback ain't gonna cut it, perp.
Well, yeah, and
It's true.
the one I have is just the hatchback I have is over 15 years old.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my budget has never been much. The last 6 vehicles I've gotten were all barter agreements. That I was gonna build the deck or fix something in somebody's home in exchange for an old car they had that they weren't using.
Oh, okay.
That's the only
That's
way I've
cool.
been able to afford to ever get a vehicle.
Oh, I know it's expensive. I mean, I have my truck now has a little under 7,000 miles on it, and it's a Silverado 4-door 1500, and it's expensive, but I love the versatility to it, and I love being able to just throw my tiny home on my hitch and drive away whenever I want.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit of a gypsy.
Yeah, and that's when I had to be, when I was doing the stuff more regularly, I had to have a decent sized van. But if I can't count on having the jobs, if I can't count on working quite as regularly, I also can't afford to just pay for the gas and insurance for a vehicle that large.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely yeah. The gas isn't too bad on mine. I got the biggest V6 they had intentionally. It's enough to haul my trailer, but I won't blow gas just driving into town running errands.
Yeah, well, if you could get one with a 6, they'll do the job instead of an 8.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I did it. I mean, I spend more time driving without my trailer than I do hauling it. And I pulled it all the way from Ohio to here, and there was only like one hill that I really slowed down on the way, and that was just because I didn't want to slam on the gas and waste gas. I was trying to be conservative.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
but
the
this
van I
size
had.
of a trailer, it pulled it with no problem. So
Yeah, the van I had a six-cylinder also, so I was still able to get about 20 miles a gallon out of it.
yeah, 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 that's good stuff.
But yeah, now I'm stuck to kind of lightweight stuff.
Yeah,
So,
I had a slightly older, well, a few years old Nissan Frontier, and it started acting up. So before things started falling off of it, because it was started having exhaust issues and stuff. And no, I'm sorry, not why did I say exhaust? Transmission issues.
mhm.
So I took it in and traded it in before the car dealership would realize it, and bought a little Toyota to build up my credit, and one of those CHRs, which actually was fun to drive. It's a zippy little car, and it's kind of like a small SUV is the way it's built. So I got one of those I had it for a year and a half and traded in, and got my truck, and they gave me pretty much exactly what I owed on it. So there was nothing I had to roll over into the new payment.
Yeah, I've
So
only been here a month, so I haven't been working on it too seriously yet. But I am keeping my eye out if there's like a garage or something I could rent to have some shop space. But it's
yeah,
kind of a vicious circle because if I have to pay the rental on a garage, then it's like how much of the work I'm doing is just to pay for having the ability to do the work without me really getting ahead.
right. Well, maybe you could maybe you could find somebody that has extra workspace on their property and
Yeah,
are willing to trade the rent for some stuff being done.
yeah.
That's what I
Well,
would look for if I was you. A little
yeah,
trade off.
that's what I'm kind of hoping because literally, if I can just find somebody who has some space on their lot who would let me build a shed there, I can set up my own building and everything fairly cheaply because I can do all the labor myself. And, you know, even to build a shed or
Right.
something, thirds of the cost is labor rather than materials.
Excuse me.
Okay,
Right. Yeah.
I've got to hang up my headset for just a minute here. I'll be right back.
Okie dokie.
Does that mean I have to talk now? Oh no, what am I gonna say?
Yep. It's all on you, man. Go, speak, say things, entertain us. Oh no, not that kind of speak.
Oh,
I don't speak woof very well, so
that was
I mean you can do that, but I won't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, that was Puppy.
Oh look, there's Linda. Hi, Linda. Love you, Linda. She's
Linda?
great. Yeah.
Hi, Linda.
Yep. Yeah. That's the Linda. Shadow keeps putting that cat up there with the face mask on. It's great. I love it. Totally cracks me up. I'm just doing background music waiting for Purple to come back.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
I just don't know what to say. I'm just, I'm so completely.
Oh, I can always come up with something to say. I'm full of shit.
I'm just a dumb
I'm
girl.
good at BSing and. I doubt that.
I've admitted to some people lately. I have been learning intentionally how to play the bimbo.
How to play what?
The bimbo. A girl who's
the bimbo role.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's kind of fun.
It's fun acting. It's fun acting like your blonde bleach went into your head and wiped your brain out.
Yeah, yeah. You can get stuff.
I actually I'm not a blonde I like shorter women, good tan, really dark hair, and dark eyes. That's the ticket right there. And you'd think I'd be able to find somebody, being that I moved to New Mexico, but I haven't managed to do that yet.
Well, since I went to a salon for the very first time in my life in January, and mostly because I just didn't think I ever needed to do that, because all I wanted was just basic long hair, and every few months I just flip over in the shower and comb it and snip off an inch. So it
Right.
didn't look totally ragged. But I decided, look, I got all this gray. I'd like to try it, so I went, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I have absolutely become a salon junkie. I want to do it every 6 weeks if I can afford it. I mean, I can't, but every 12 maybe.
Well, I like to go in about every 6 weeks. It gets me to cut off my hair very quickly so I can get the hell out of there. So.
Well, I got my hair dyed this auburn, which I just love. It's just one of my favorite colors. I think next time I do it, I'd like to have it closer to an Irish setter kind of red.
Oh, okay.
But it's okay right now. And one of my trans women friends talked me into getting bangs, even though that sounded so weird to do at my age. And I like them.
Who cares?
And for the first time in my life since I got my hair done, I've had total strangers compliment me on my looks. It's like, holy fuck. A haircut?
Yeah, that's great.
I
do whatever you want. I don't think the age thing matters. If you want, I've seen older ladies that have their hair spiked and it's bright purple or bright blue or something, because they're like, hell with it, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, that is definitely changing. But no 65-year-old belongs in a miniskirt, so there are limits. And although I imagine
maybe
are some who are in great enough shape to do that, but I'm certainly not.
I still know, like 12 years ago, my ex convinced me to cut my hair, and it's never grown back again. I used to have a ponytail that hung down to my belt, and I can't get it back half that long anymore.
Yeah,
I was due to go back in, and then this virus showed up, and so I've just been okay. Well, it won't take that long. We'll be back to normal soon. Holy fucking! It's what, 2 months later, 3 months later.
Yeah.
I don't even know
they
how long
they say it's gonna. They say it's gonna slow down, or they're gonna open everything back up, and then there's gonna be a second wave. So it's gonna take a while for all this to calm down. Don't anybody expect it to be a month. Nobody listen to Trump. It's not true.
Yeah, that's for sure.
My next gaming convention would be in October, and I'm not even planning on going to that. I'm not making the hotel reservations because I don't think we're going to be done with this by then.
I agree, Purple. I don't think so either.
So I'm pretty much figuring that we've got to dig in, and we've got to pretty much accept that this is how it's going to be, at least to the end of the year.
Yep.
Well,
people don't want to hear that. But
you think.
Well, I'm just in this place where, God damn it, at least let's take an intermission, okay? And everybody can do what they want for a week, and then we have to go back into hiding, and I can get my hair done and my brows shaped and my nails done and stuff.
I did hear, Jenny, that there's certain that there's certain salons around the United States that are doing like you make an appointment and one customer at a time thing.
I should
So
probably call them.
that's a thought.
Yeah, some of them are starting
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
It just seems so rude. I finally find my personal secret to semi-cute, and it gets taken away from because of a virus. It's not fair.
I tell you what, my hair's getting so long. I'm ready just to take the clippers and set it at like a 3 and just, or maybe a 2, maybe a 1, and just buzz my hair off. I'm sick of it already.
Yeah, well, Sloth
hate
Girl's
long
rather
hair.
annoyed that this all happened right after we moved here before she could do anything. Because one of the things she was looking forward to was there wasn't any kind of salon up where we were living before. So she was talking about how she couldn't wait to finally get a pedicure after 2 years.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, before she had a chance to make an appointment, it's like, nope, they're all closed down.
I actually drive
Yeah,
65 miles to the salon
lovely.
I go to. And then she sold me these hair care products, and shampoo and conditioner that are, color friendly and stuff. And oh my God, what a difference they make! I never believed any of that hype of products, and the products do this and that, and it's all bullshit. But it ain't, as it turns out.
The problem with hair care products is people don't realize, how many different types of hair there really are. So it's like one brand that may be utter crap for some people could be the perfect thing for you.
Well, and the basic question: are you buying, a product says Joe Blow shampoo for fine hair? Is that if you want fine hair or if you have fine hair?
Yeah. Well, I mean that
Nobody could ever answer
there's a
that.
huge contrast with that with me and my fiance because I've got, the long straight Scandinavian hair and she had the very tight nappy black hair. So it's like that was kind of a learning curve for both of us that, yeah, we had to do everything completely differently. Okay, if it sounds like a lot of static, that's on my end, and that's just Sammy's son. The Sloth Girl got him a new cat toy that he loves the crinkly sound of it. So if it sounds like somebody crumpling cellophane, that's my cat.
All right, I'm back. What'd I miss?
Not too much, just talking about hair care products. Different types of hair, and why some products, might be crap for some people and be just the right thing that you need.
Right.
And I was saying that crinkly sound you may be hearing is my kitty going to town on his new toy.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask. I didn't know if you were like smashing up a plastic bag or something.
No, but he
Linda,
loves that crunchy plastic sound, and Sloth Girl found him a toy like that, so.
Linda, I would love to come on your show tomorrow, honey, but I have to be at work like 20 minutes after you start, so. I wish I could. I'm doing like a 12-hour shift tomorrow.
Okay, Mr. Shadow Kitty, what, did you shave your head, or?
Oh, no, yeah, he shaved his head for Angie.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I missed that. Yeah, that's it. I buzzed my beard off last week in my live stream for her. So if anybody wants to see that, it's
I'll be back in a second.
Show last Thursday at about an hour and 20 minutes in.
Aw, thanks, Linda. You're a sweetheart too. Yeah, I'm trying to get on a set schedule at work. It's kind of difficult right now. We got rid of somebody, so they're kind of tossing me around wherever they need me. So that's what happens when you do your job right. Damn it. I really wish I could just be a slacker and skate by, but I just mentally can't handle that.
Yeah, you've got to learn to lower people's expectations.
I know. I try to do that too. Like I'll go into a job and I think I'll do good and just good. I'm not gonna do great. I'm just gonna do good, and then they won't make me bust my ass. And then I just bust my own ass, and then they just expect it after that. So
yeah, well,
then there's no stopping it.
What amazes me is that I don't sleep for shit. So it's like half the time I feel I'm like in zombie mode. And I keep getting people telling me, what great work I'm doing. And it's like, so what is the baseline standard people are judging against that when I feel I'm working at half my capacity, everybody thinks I'm like the best worker?
Well, Purple, you got to look and find the person that works with you or around you that just really sucks ass, and remember that they're dealing with that, and anything above that is great.
Yeah, I just, it just constantly floors me that, is that the standard that people are used to?
Right. Isn't that sad that that's what they're used to? Yeah, it's true. It's absolutely horrible.
Yeah, Amiga Nuts, if you want to be shilling for people, Aptivist is trying to get together to be able to move from Texas to Oregon. So he hasn't been real public about it yet, but yeah, he's going to be needing some help from whoever can afford to.
Who'd you say is doing that?
And if I go back in my Twitter, I can probably find a link for that. It'll just take me a minute to dig through my private messages in Twitter.
Okay.
And yeah, certainly for anybody trying to get out of a southern state.
Yeah.
I keep saying that we need to. I keep saying that we need to set up a refugee colony in refugee camp in Minnesota for everybody who wants to escape the South.
Well, they don't even have to go up that far, honestly. If you're down around Texas or something, you could just come up here to New Mexico and head to the northern area of New Mexico. You'd be fine.
Well, see, actually, my full plan is that actually after we get everybody up here to Minnesota, then we really start putting the press on to get Canada to annex Minnesota. That's always been my long-term plan, so I'll just get some more people in on it. Shoot, now I can't find the link for Activist. I can't remember which group chat that was in. I know somebody had posted a link for it.
I'm going to try something. Purple, I'm going to try something.
Okay, you're kind of breaking up there, Jen, so I didn't quite catch what you're saying you're going to try, but... just annoying me because I know I had it here a couple of days ago. Now I just can't remember where it is. But being organized was never one of my strong suits. I tend to be more used to.
Oh, you're in Iowa, huh, Doc? My brother's in Iowa.
Yeah, Doc's in Iowa and Jenny and I are in Minnesota, so, you know, I'm probably not too far of a drive.
Probably not. Yeah. I believe my brother's down by Des Moines. I believe is where he is. I haven't talked to him in a couple of years.
I think Doc said he's close to Des Moines, too.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember for sure if that's the city that he mentioned or.
Why, unfortunately, Doc, is it that bad there? I mean, I've never lived in Iowa. I've drove through it 500 times in a truck, but.
Yeah, oddly enough, I have lived in every state that borders Iowa, but I've never lived in Iowa.
Huh.
Now that I'm back in Minnesota, though, I am contractually obliged to rip on Iowa. It's just something you have to do if you live in Minnesota.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like if you're a Steelers fan, you have to hate the Cowboys. Is it like that?
Yeah, that sort of thing. You know, like New York and New Jersey are always on each other. Iowa and Minnesota are always back and forth.
Right. Oh, hold on just a second, Purple. I'll be right back.
Okay, so everybody's stepping out at the same time. I'm in here alone now. Just an idea off the cuff. I've noticed that for some reason, people building Legos seems to be making for popular videos. I don't quite understand why, because I think it would be boring to watch someone else do it. But I don't know. If I did some videos of building Lego sets, is that something anybody would bother to watch?
All right, I'm back. Let's open up the door and try to secure the screen so my cats can look outside and not get out.
Yeah, actually, that's when I got up. I had to go and close the window because I thought it would warm up by the middle of the afternoon, but it's so windy and chilly here.
Oh, hi, Richard.
Okay, well, Doc.
So for those of you that don't know, that's my brother.
Oh, no, I didn't know you were related.
Yeah. We're actually, I'm the youngest. He's next to the youngest. He's 3 years older than me. So, yeah, I've known him quite a few years.
Okay.
Yeah. Amiga, you're so good at that.
Okay. Well, Doc, which side of Des Moines are you on? Like, you know, how far are you from Minneapolis? I don't know. I just, again, now that I'm a big part of getting out of that tiny little town was being able to socialize. So I'm in St. Cloud now, which is a bit over an hour out of the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. You know, but at this point, it's like maybe after all of this virus stuff is done with, maybe we could actually arrange some like in-person group meetup. Anybody who thinks it's not too long a drive to get into Minneapolis. That would be fun.
That would be fun. I've only met, I've met one. Huh?
I was kind of saying that you know, they keep doing the Faithless Forum down in Texas, so they should do a Faithless Forum North up here in Minneapolis, or at least in Chicago.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be smart to do that, because so many people can't just go over like 6 or 7 states and
Yeah.
go over like 6 or 7 states and get there and get back and go to work, and so it does
Yeah.
make it hard.
Yeah, you know, I would love to go to it, but I couldn't afford the travel expenses for that kind of a trip.
Yeah, it gets
Yeah.
pretty expensive.
And there are some people who have issues with flying, so I think even for me, I'd probably wind up driving it. Last time I was trying to fly, I wound up getting screened out, and it was just more hassle than I ever want to deal with again. Hello.
Right.
Hi. I'm back.
Hello.
Well,
Hello.
I had all the conversation got me going. I had to check out what's going on with my salon.
Ah.
They're still closed.
Yeah, mine, it's just, they flagged me for the whatever intensive screening or whatever they called it, just because it was like 15 years before that I had my name legally changed. So they considered that to be suspicious. And it's like, that was before the 9/11 thing and all that bullshit, so it's, so yeah, I really don't want to ever go to an airport again if I can avoid it.
That's one of the...
Yeah, I've go ahead.
I was just going to mention that's one of the things that I really appreciate regarding my transition. And when I did it versus now, there's zero chance of any, dead names or any of that stuff existing on the internet, because I did it so long before the internet existed.
Oh yeah, good point.
Oh, I'm sure somebody
Yeah,
can
I don't
find
really,
on the internet, but not sure why anyone.
I don't really like flying either. I'll fly if it's important enough, like to see family or something. But otherwise, I would prefer to stay on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, Doc, I'm about 2.5 hours north of Albuquerque, and I think Jenny's actually closer to it than I am.
Right. Good question, Richard.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up on
something about here. How did I get bounced? I'll check in a second, Doc. I got bounced from YouTube.
Yeah, Doc, I think Minneapolis is about an hour north of Albuquerque.
Did it take you long to find a purple zipper, by the way, for your...
No, oddly enough, that's like the 5th image that came up in a Google search. So just figured that was the one I needed to go.
So I missed the beginning of that. What was with the zipper?
Oh, today's National Zipper Day.
Oh.
I don't know why, but it just is. So it had to do.
There's a national day for.
Yeah, so it started out with a short history of the zipper and who, the invention of it and so forth.
I think we should have stuck with buttons. I love button fly jeans.
God, those used to be all the rage in the 70s.
Yeah, well, I've decided
I remember having button fly jeans
now on, because I had always just been like using cat pictures and that for the thumbnails. So now I'm just, every time I set them up, I'm going to a calendar of obscure holidays. So yeah, basically any given day of the year is a holiday for at least 4 or 5 different things.
Geez, Doc, you're closer to Minneapolis than I am. I'm about 140, 150 miles away.
Okay, so yeah, it's about 2 hours. Yeah, I'm about 75 miles northwest of Minneapolis.
Well, Doc's in the position where he could just take 35 all the way north
Yeah,
through
well, and
Albertley and all
I'm
that
pretty
stuff.
much the same thing. I just follow 94 straight back into
Yeah,
Minneapolis.
and I'm at the bottom of the diagonal of the triangle.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know if that was while you had stepped away, Jenny, but I just kind of threw out the idea that maybe sometime next year we could just have a group meet and greet.
Yeah, I think we can do that.
So just see, whoever's within a reasonable drive of Minneapolis wants to get together. Okay, well, we've been here for about 2.5 hours, and I need to
Really?
go and argue with my cell phone company again.
Yeah,
So,
I was about to say I'm gonna jump off here anyways. So,
yeah.
all
So
right, you
it's
two
time to wind
crazy
this up.
kids.
Okay, well, B, do you have anything you want to plug before you go?
Well, I'm not doing anything yet. I haven't set anything up. I'm trying to figure out what my schedules will be for the next 2 weeks. I do want to set up a couple of interviews / lives here soon.
Okay.
Because I want to gear my channel more towards PTSD, anxiety, and all that stuff that goes with it, to try to help other people. Since
Okay, well,
I've come so far with mine, I'd like to help others. Maybe we can get I want to do kind of a community support group, help each other out, coping mechanisms, that kind of stuff. So,
certainly a good cause, and I know there's a number of people in the community who are dealing with those issues.
yeah, I didn't know when I had to come up with this thought to try it, and then the more people I talk to, the more I bump into people that could benefit from it. So I'm hoping I can do something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, if you post about it on Twitter, I'm sure you'll get some responses. I've talked to a number of people about it privately, but I certainly don't feel I should be giving out names.
Well, yeah, I actually have probably about I already have about 4 women that have agreed to come on and talk with me about that, one of those topics. So hopefully that will, being that a couple of them are well known in the community, I'm hoping it will let other people know it's okay to come on and talk about it. So yeah, that's my goal.
Well, yeah, feel free to come in anytime and, plug it when you've got something set up.
Well, thank you, Purple. I appreciate that. Truly appreciate that. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of here and say my goodbyes. And thank you for the great stream. And it was nice talking to you, Jenny, and getting to know you more. And you too,
very
Purple.
much so.
Yep. Yeah, thanks for coming in.
All right. Yeah, thanks for having me. You guys take care.
See you later.
Okay, and Jenny, I know you've been active with a couple of different channels lately. So what have you got coming up?
Well, I got nothing coming up, actually. Just movie night on Fridays is the regular, but I got nothing booked beyond that. So all you guys ask your favorite content creators to get me on.
Well, I know you did a couple of shows with Young Cold 4. Those were good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're developing a good show there.
Yeah, and I know you were talking with Jen's Little Corner about all the gens getting together to do a show.
Oh, that's Jen. Which one? Um, Jen's little corner idea.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. I
just one
didn't
of
know how
many.
far that had progressed. If she had, talked to you or scheduled anything with that or not.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody for coming.
Thanks for having me,
So I will
chat.
be back.
Thanks for hanging with us.
Yep, I will be back. Tomorrow at midnight, and then Friday at 4 o'clock Central Time. I will be co-hosting the isolation chat on Black Sofa's channel. So see you all around. Bye bye.
Bye.